read a lot. I think probably most authors. I read a lot. I was a only child until my sister's 11 years younger than me, and so I spent like a chunk of my childhood as an only child. And then, as I mentioned, we moved from Baton Rouge to Texas, and so I all of a sudden didn't have all of the family around, and so books were my refuge and my comfort, and so I was always reading. But it's some that I could say influenced this book and probably maybe like the storytelling of this book. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe come to mind. Uh, where most people I think are familiar with that story, but how the kids were able to enter a different world, that was so different and foreign to theirs, but they still were tied to their real world and kind of went back and forth between the two worlds. And so I think that was influential. Another was The Diary of Anne Frank. I think that, and not fiction, but I think that was definitely influential in terms of, or inspiring in terms of how to tell this story, because Anne Frank leaves this diary behind, and it's her words, it's her experiences, it's the trauma that she lived and that she went through. And by leaving this diary behind, she was able to share that experience with the whole world. And similarly, Malcolm discovers the diary of his ancestor, and that's his first entree into the Reconstruction era, and eventually that connection that he makes, the deeper connection he makes with the ancestor. And so I kind of had that in mind as a way to tell this story and pass down this knowledge and history so that it's not forgotten to time.
This author interview was produced through a partnership of the Grateful American Foundation and WETA. For more author interviews, please visit adlit.org.